Let's back up a little bit. How do you first find out about the accident?
We had gotten a call. We were building the home that you're sitting in. Right. And we were down here, and we were leaving on Sunday to fly into New York. And you had asked TJ why he's a New York Yankee fan. We lived on the border of New York and Connecticut. He lived there his whole life. He had only moved to Massachusetts 2 months prior to the accident. So we were flying back to JFK, and we had gotten a call in the morning. And we flew into Boston, and then my husband had to fly back to JFK, get the car, drive back up. But we had gotten a call from, they had many people looking for us.
What was it? What was that flight in that first few hours of not knowing, like?
Hell. There's no other way to describe it.
Can you give me more explanation?
Well, first of all, like I always say with traumatic brain, I do run this work group in Pasco. So, you know, you do have to come up with words to explain to people that are going through the exact same thing that we went through. And I like to just say, you know, how many times did you think of brain injury before you were struck with this type of injury? Not much, I'm sure. And that was the thing. It was the unknown. It was, okay, what are we getting into? What is this? What is brain injury? We had no idea. And no one could tell you. There isn't a book, there isn't an article, and nobody's got, you know, computer. You're just sitting waiting. And when you're in that kind of unit that they had there, there was just death all around you. I mean, no one was surviving. So you were holding on by a thread.
Did they tell you had a brain injury in the first phone call, or did you find that out when you got there?
No, the first phone call was that he was involved in a car accident and that he was in the hospital and that it didn't look good. And then several phone calls from there through the airport and onto the plane. You know, just get here as quick as possible, and it doesn't look good, and you're not going to recognize him, and half his face is gone, and things like that, which was not the case. But it was a very scary moment.
When you get there, did they allow you in? Is he in the ICU when you
Oh yeah, we were allowed right in.
And that was, what, 24 hours after the accident?
Oh no, he had his accident, and we were there probably within about 13, 14 hours after.
And what does he look like?
What does he look like? Well, you know, this was the thing. He looked like TJ. I mean, I don't even think we really gave it much thought to what he looked like. His head was larger than it should have been. But we really...
He was hooked up to every machine.
Yeah, that's my husband in the background. He was hooked up to a lot of machines. We were just happy he was breathing. I mean, we really didn't... Did it look like him? Yeah. I just finished reading a book about two girls that one had passed and one was alive, and it was mistaken identity after with brain injury. And, I mean, that wasn't our case. We knew that this was TJ. So I look back and I put a lot of thought into the actual question. There was no denying who was laying there.
It's interesting. That's not an unusual story. I have an example of that myself, where the mom was told that her daughter was dead. Oh, it's the other girl in the wreck.
Yeah. See, we knew right away. I mean, there was no denying.
He was the only one in the car.
No, there was a girl in the car, and the impact was on her side of the vehicle, and she suffered a broken collarbone.
And that was all.
That was it. He was not wearing a seatbelt. She was.